in mission 3 for the Fate of Konor. It's Hold the Line is what this mission's called. We're on the planet NETHAMUS, I believe it's called. And it is full of crop oceans, as they're known. So this planet is the breadbasket for the fighting forces for this sector. So where it was once lush fields of grain to feed the forces, it's been bombed by the Death Guard and all of the nastiness that Nurgle can bring to reduce the whole planet, or most of it, to ashen waste. And it is worth noting in this mission, it does say put as little terrain down as possible, so that's why it's pretty barren wasteland and it's just going to be a straight up shootout. So the Ultramarines are defending one of the last standing food factories, one of the stops for this cargo transport that's off board that the Chaos Forces are trying to intercept. So to break through a mission, you have to try and intercept that cargo hauler by escaping off the board. So we'll come to that in just a second. And the Death Guard have dispatched one of the many expendable wings of their force. So it's the Renegades, the Lost and the Damned. They're going to try and throw themselves in front of the train, so to speak, try and block it. So the deployment map for this mission, it is like this. The Ultramarines have half of the table to deploy in, and the Renegades have 18 inches from their board edge. So the Ultramarines have the majority of the table. To break through a mission, as I said earlier, so what needs to happen is units from the Chaos Force need to make it all the way across the board and escape from the Ultramarines' board edge. And for points in this mission, points are scored for the Imperium, where when they destroy a unit, and much like in the last game almost, if a vehicle destroys the last model in the unit, then they get an extra point on top of that. And they've got two really nice stratagems for this mission as well, which I'm sure we'll have a look at when the time comes. How the Chaos Forces score is they need to have it's kill points, so if they destroy a unit, it's a point for that. If you escape off the board with a unit, it's a further point. And if you escape off the table with a vehicle, then you get an extra point on top of that. So 2 points if you escape if you're a vehicle, single point if you escape if you're an infantry model, and kill points on top of that. And there's no first blood in this mission, but there is Slay the Warlord. Okay, we've got 2,000 points of Renegades. These are from, going to be using the Forge World rules. These are not just Imperial Guard, so it's a little bit different. So what we've got is a Battle-Forged army. We're using a battalion detachment, and we've also got a spearhead detachment. So we've got a Renegade Master, just like the song. He's got a plasma pistol. He's the Warlord. He allows all the infantry to have a covenant. We're going for Nurgle since it's the Death Guard's campaign. So all this means is if any of the infantry get hit by a weapon that's strength 4 or below, they'll have an invulnerable 6 save. It's not brilliant, but it's something. We've got a Malefic Lord here. He's a sorcerer or a psyker. He's got some special rules. He's got a pretty good psychic power. He does mortal wounds. And for troops, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units of infantry militia. So we've got 2 units the same. There's 2 flamers in here, and we've got we're going to count this as a heavy bolter because it's a much bigger stubber than, and it takes 2 to carry it, so we're going to say that's a heavy bolter. So we've got 2 units with heavy bolter, 2 flamers each. We've got 3 units exactly the same. They've each got an auto cannon, and the rest have got auto guns. So if you're not familiar with Renegades, they're not as good as Imperial Guardsmen. Basically, they're not even as good as conscripts either. They hit on 5s, and they only got a 6+ save, armor save, and they cost the same amount of points as a guardsman. So hopefully Forge World will bring back the militia training for them so they can actually hit stuff. But for this game, they're hitting on 5s and they've only got a 6+ save. So not as good as Imperial Guard. You don't get any orders for them either. You just got to try and make it through on that covenant. So we'll see how this one goes. But you do get access to more special weapons. That's why we've been able to get 2 flamers in a squad. So we're going to have a dedicated Chimera for one of the squads. It's got double heavy bolter and a heavy stubber. Of course, we might as well mention the lurking Baneblade at the back. This is going to be our life's blood. The mission this week is based around heavy, so I'll try to bring as many tanks as I can. So we've got the Baneblade. It is the beast of all. So it's got a heavy stubber on the top. It's got the last can heavy water sponsons and all the regular kit out that unit has. We've got a Scout Salamander. It's got an autocannon on the front and a heavy water. And we've got a unit of 3 armoured sentinels or las cannons. There's the last squad of infantry. And we've got another detachment here. So Cypher, he's at this campaign, or he's at this mission rather. Some say he's taking revenge on Gulliman putting him out on Terror. Some say it's not even Cypher, but who knows? Anyone that's seen him has just had a smoking hole in the chest, so nobody knows for sure. But there is a shadowy figure at this game. So he's the HQ for this spearhead. We've got 3 heavies in there. It's just going to give us an extra point, extra command point. So we've got a Vanquisher at the front. He's got a las cannon and 2 Lehman Russ with battle cannons and flamers on the front. Now we've got a Hellhound. That's part of the main detachment. So that's got, as you see, the heavy bolter in the hull.
Right, so we've got 2,000 points of Ultramarines. After the hammering they've had in the last 2 games, the high command has been reduced somewhat, and all the best boys are gone. So we've had to draft in Captain Numator from the 10th Company, Salt Company there. He's got his axe, and next to him he's old, but he's okay. He's a Tech Marine, and he's got a silver one. And we've got 3 troops about there. 2 of them are in Razorbacks, one with heavy bolter and one with all the twin las cannons, 5 in each. And we've got 10 Marine squad, and they're in the Rhino, and they've all got bolters too. We've got a Devastator squad down here, and there's 4 las cannons in there, and a Morium Cherub. And the other heavy support for this lot is the Whirlwind. It's got Castellan missile launcher, and we've got a flyer wing there, the Storm Talon, and it's got Skyhammer missiles, twin linked assault cannon. Then we've got a spearhead detachment, and that's led by Kronos, Sergeant Kronos. What a beauty! he rides in the Vindicator there.
Yes, he's in the
Annihilator, yeah. Predator Annihilator, not the Vindicator.
That would have been silly.
That would have been stupid. So there's that one. It's got all las cannons, the Annihilator. Then we've got 2 other types of Predator at the back. One's toting las cannons, sponsons, and the autocannon. And the other one's got the Predator autocannon and heavy bolter sponsons. Now those 3 are together to pick up the kill shot, hopefully. So if we don't get blown away, Kronos will be mastering that one. And we've got a Vindicator there with a Storm Bolter in the days when it was important to have an extra weapon. Yeah, so the Warlord there, he's got the Santic Halo, and that will allow him to have a 3+ invulnerable save, and it'll give him a chance to deny any psychics. And he's also got the Warlord trait, the Adept of the Codex, which allows you to re-roll 5+, you get command points back.
So very handy. So this will probably be the last game that we see with just exclusively small Marines. They're going to start to bring in the Primus Marines now after this one.
Yeah.
So let's give them the best.
The dwindling.
Let's give them all the best in this game. See if they can make something of themselves. So what we'll do is have a look at deployment. So the Ultramarines have to put down a unit first, then it bounces backwards and forwards. So the Ultramarines have ended up like this. Main things to look out for is we've got 3 Predators here, protected by a Tech Marine. He's Kronos and he's Annihilator Predator. Ferocious firepower and the kill shot stratagem might be getting used in this game. That's what the ambition is. Got the Lascan Devastators up in the factory here. Got a Whirlwind here, just behind it. Got a Razorback in deep cover there behind the boxes. Flyer right in the corner. Unit of 10 in the forward Rhino. Unit of 5 in the Razorback. And there's a Vindicator off in the distance there. A forward Vindicator, braving it. And so for the Renegades, it's just a line of steel. So we've got the Command Chimera here. It's got a unit in with the double flamers and a heavy bolter. It's also got the Commander in. It's also got the Malefic Lord in as well. This is the Vanquisher with the last cannon. We've got the Scout Salamander, Lehman Rust, and we've got 2 units here. We've got one in the crater with the auto cannon, another squad there, and guess who's there? Cypher, the shadowy figure himself, and 3 Sentinels in the centre, another squad behind them. There's the Hellhound, of course, the Baneblade, another squad here, and another Lehman Rust just there. So it's going to be a forward thrust, a mad dash for the Ultramarine lines. They're going to have to. So the Renegades should be going first, unless the Ultramarines can steal the initiative. To be pretty deadly in this one, since the firepower on both sides pretty horrendous. So this is pretty crucial. This one to 3, no. Right. So Renegades will go first. So we are off. So everyone except 2 units have moved. We've got 2 units at the back here with the autocans staying put just to try and get some sly shots off. All others move forward. All the infantry, they advance. So we've got Lehman Rust there ready to tangle with the Vindicator. The Baneblade goes forward, so is the Hellhound. Sentinels, all the tanks over here. And the only thing that's slightly out of the ordinary is the Scout Salamander. Before the battle round, it gets to scout forward 9 inches, so that's what it did, and then it's moved it to 12, so that is leading the advance like a scout vehicle should. So no psychic phase because our Psyker is still in the Chimera, so it's just straight onto shooting. So as you can see, there's a big gap. The Ultramarines deployed right at the back of the board here. A few weapons will be in range, however. Right, we're going to start the shooting phase with the 3 Sentinels. They did move, so they're going to suffer a -1 to the hit roll. We're going to target Kronos. We can see him, and we've moved in range now. So 3 las cannons coming at him, needing 5s. Not a sausage. Nothing. Right, we're going to do this Lehman Rust with the battle cannon at him. How many shots? We're getting 3 shots. We are hitting on 4s with this one because you don't suffer the penalty for turret weapons. And we get 2 hits on Kronos. And you're needing 3s to wound, good strength 8. We'll get 1 wound, and I think we will be okay with that. Don't want to use the stratagems just yet. So there's 1 wound, and it's a -2 AP. So Kronos, he's saving on a 3 with a -2, so he's on a 5. So this could cause D3 damage. It's went through, so D3 damage for him. It's just the 1. Do we use that stratagem now? Well, the Tech Marine is behind him. I just fix that straight up. So we will just not use the stratagem. Can't bear it. I'm going to fire this Chimera now. It is in range with all weapons at Kronos. Hitting on 5s with everything. And the heavy stubber is in black. So there's green for heavy bolters, so they didn't do too well. 5s to wound. So there's 1 wound with a heavy bolter, saving on an armor save of 4 with a -1. Gets it, okay, no problem. We're going to do the Vanquisher now. So just the Vanquisher cannon in range, I think. We'll have to measure it. He hits with the Vanquisher cannon, okay, needing a 3. Does not get it, so this is when we're going to use our stratagem to reroll this. So we'll get it, that's a 3. And so just had a quick look, the Vanquisher is AP -3, so he's going to be saving on a 6 against this one, so as he dies, leading a 6. The save does not get it right. The Vanquisher, you roll 2 dice and you pick the best for damage. So we'll choose the 6. 6 wounds on Kronos straight away, horrible. The Kronos taking a bit of battering from that Vanquisher cannon, and we've just checked that the last cannon is in range, so we'll be able to fire with a -1 because it did move. He's hit with the last cannon. This is not good news for Kronos. Wounds on a 3, that is a wound also. So again, saving on a 6 with Kronos. Could this be devastating news for him? He's teetering. So here we go. This is nervous rolling. He gets it. Okay, Kronos survives. Right, we're going to fire with the Salamander now. It's got an autocannon and a heavy bolter on it. It's an autocannon in green. Hitting on 5s because we did move. So we've got 1 hit with the autocannon. A 5 and a 4 needed. And we get them both. So it's AP -1 for each weapon. So the autocannon saving on a 4. Gets us. The heavy bolter saving on a 4. Gets that as well. Right, so we are going to play another stratagem in this turn, and it's pretty big. We're going to play the one for this mission. It's exclusive to this mission, called Armoured Assault. It means if you advance with a vehicle, which we did with the Baneblade, not very far, but we did, you get to shoot as if you were standing still, so the Baneblade will not suffer any penalty for moving. So we're dedicating our gunfire. We're going to do Demolisher and last cannons at the Demolisher, at the Vindicator, as it's rather called. All heavy bolters and heavy stubber at the Devastator team up here, and then we're going to do the auto cannon and Baneblade cannon at Kronos. We can see him a little bit, and he's not technically in cover. Right, so the Baneblade, we're going to fire the Baneblade cannon first. So it's 2d6 shots coming at Kronos over here, and that is not good. 3 shots. We can't use any stratagems to reroll. Kronos might get out of this one alive. Hitting on 4s. Because of that stratagem, we get 1 hit, and it is strength 9, so we're hitting on wound on 3s. We get a wound. It's AP -3. Kronos has got a 6 save to make. Does not make it. So the damage for a Baneblade cannon is 3. So he's got 1 wound remaining because he's already taken 7. So he's teetering. So we're going to try and finish him off with the auto cannon. Try and be efficient with it. We'll get 1 hit with the autocannon, needing a 4, we'll get it. He's saving on a 4 now, it's only AP 1. He gets it, Kronos survives, but he's smoking. Right, Kronos will survive this turn. I've got nothing more to shoot at him that is in range. So the Tech Marine, he's got his work cut out for him, he's on his last wound, he's going to have to go over there and start patching him up. But the Baneblade is not finished firing yet, we've still got more guns. Whoops. We've still got all the heavy bolters firing at the Devastator squad, so here we go. 18 shots in total. We are hitting on 4s because of that stratagem. So we've got the lion's share here. Wounding on 3s. That isn't very good though. So only 5. Yeah, 5. So it's AP -1, but they are in cover, so they're gonna get saves of just straight 3s here. With 2 go down, starting to chip away, and then we've got the heavy stubber, gets a single hit, no wound. I've got 2 last cannons off the Baneblade at the Vindicator now. So hitting on 4s, we get 1 hit. It's actually toughness 8 to Vindicator, but still, last cannon is going to need a 3, gets it. So 7 on 6 for that Vindicator. Does not get it, so it's D6 damage. Takes 2. 2 wounds, right, so we've got the Demolisher cannon at it now. We're going to get 2 shots. We'll hit with 1. Strength 10, so we're needing a 3. Do not get it, so it's been a mixed bag so far. We are going to do the Hellhound now. We're going to fire that at the Vindicator also. So we're going to get 5 shots. These are automatic hits, but we're going to need 5s to wound. And we don't get any. Right, it's all going pear-shaped now. We've got the battle cannon from the Lehman Russ, that's staring it down. We're going to do that. Gets 1 shot, misses anyway. And then we've got the heavy flamer from the hull. How many shots? 6 automatic hits. Thank you very much. Alright, 5s to wound. That does better. 2 wounds and 7 on 4s for the Vindicator. So 1 more wound. Right, so we had the autocannon on the hill as well, firing at the Vindicator and missed. We've got this one in the crater, going to fire this one at the only thing in range, which is the Devastator squad. So they don't have training, and well, there's no option to have training, so they're hitting on 5s with this autocannon. But look at that, they get 2 hits. Alright, so it's 3s to wound a Space Marine with an autocannon, and there we go, there's a 1 and a 2. So they get off scot-free. So that is the end of the turn. Don't kill any vehicles, but we've severely damaged Kronos. But we haven't got any points, and his counter-attack will be ferocious, I tell you. Right, so the Ultramarines begin their counter-attack, and the Marines get out of these 2 vehicles. So they've formed a line. We know they're like the Emperor, but can they stand? So we've got the Captain. He's come in from Deep Strike at the end of their turn, and he's going to give them reroll 1s as well. So he's arrived on the scene. He's going to give his reroll 1s to these heavy Devastator heavy las cannons here to shoot down the field. So tactical precision here, it's all working. And Kronos looks like he's going to get healed up by this Tech Marine just now, and everyone pretty much just stays still. The Flyer comes forward, and so does the Vindicator, stays still as well. And there's going to be a lot of firepower from the Ultramarines. It's not as much as the Imperial or the Renegade Imperial Guard, but they're much better shots. Right, the Vindicator is opening up this shooting phase, so he's fired the Stormbolter at this unit, kills one, but now we're going to do the main gun at the Leaving Rust. So how many shots? It gets D3, so it gets the single shot, and it's hit on a 3 because it did stay still.
Okay, do you know what? I'm going to re-roll that.
Okay, so stratagem being used. So re-rolls, and it's still a 1. Right then, so it hits on a 3 because it did stay still, and misses. So duck eggs in this corner. Alright, so because they use a stratagem there, the Ultramarines get to try and regain that on a 5+. No, so that's gone with the wind now. Alright, so we've moved on to the middle ground here. We've had all the bolter shots, even from the Razorback as well, fired into the Sentinels. Caused 3 wounds, so pretty respectable for those bolt guns. And even the Flyer chimed in that Assault Cannon is not in range yet, and fired its Skyhammer missiles at them, but didn't do any damage. Alright, so the Assault Cannon is dedicating its shots to here because it couldn't be in range of the Sentinels, so this is where it's going. So 12 shots, and hitting on 3s with a -1 for moving, and then you get a +1 because it's a ground target, so back to 3s again. So you've got, and rerolling 1s because the Captain is on the scene. So that's all but 3, it looks like. Alright, so 5s to wound, and there's 3. Right, so we're saving on 4s against these shots. And 2 slip throughs. There's the first 2 wounds on the Scout Salamander. Salamander's being targeted again by the Razorback off into the distance there. Double or twin las cannon, can see it, so here we go. It did stay still, so hitting on 3s and 2 deadly shots. So there's 2 hits, 3s to wound. 1 is successful, so needing a 6 to save. And we get it. Wow. Alright, we're going back to the Sentinels now. The Whirlwind is going to fire its Castle and missiles. So it's 2d6 shots this, pretty important. It's going to get 8 shots, hitting on 3s. So these are strength 6, they've got no AP though. So needing 3s to wound, that is very, very good. Sorry, no, 3s to hit, we didn't even hit first. Right, so they need 3s to wound now. So that's very good to hit roll. Alright, so that's took the steam off it a bit.
4.
So there's 4 wounds to save on 3s. Oh, still 2 drop, which means we've got a Sentinel on 1 wound remaining. Still hanging on. Okay, so we're over here where it's now becoming very serious. We've got the 3 Predators. We're going to see kill shot stratagem in play. What it does is you select a Predator within 6. Going to select of 2 Predators. So we're going to select Kronos. He's going to get +1 to his wound rolls and his damage rolls. So that's pretty important. He is damaged, he's only on his last leg, but There's a special stratagem for this mission called Resurgent Machine Spirit. It means he's going to be able to fire on his top tier damage results. So he's going to act as if he's fresh because the Machine Spirit comes back to life for him in this thing. So together that is brutal. So it doesn't even matter that he's taking damage. He's acting as normal and he's got kill shot in effect. So we knew this was going to happen. And it's going to be horrible. So Kronos in there, he's got ballistic skill 2+, and he's going to be firing all the way down here at this Vanquisher that did him wrong. So here we go, 4 las cannons
Four
hitting,
ones, probably.
hitting on 2s, all hit. Right, so he's wounding on 3s, but you get a +1 to the dice roll because of kill shot. So 2s will do, there is a 1, so that escapes. You can't re-roll because you've already re-rolled the Vindicator. So there's 3 that have gone through. We're going to have to save on 6s here with the Vindicator, with the Vanquisher. We do not get a single 1. Right, so 3d6 damage. This is going to be horrendous. Here we go. So it's 8, 9 damage in total. I think he's just hanging on. Right, so quickly just thought it's taken 9 damage, but because of kill shot you get a +1 to your dice, so it's actually gone to 12 in total, which means the Vanquisher has been killed or destroyed because it was never alive to be killed. So here we go. Explodes on a 6. Does not explode, but it is removed, and that is a victory point for the Ultramarines for killing the unit, and a victory point because it was a vehicle who did the deed. So Kronos not dying, he's just brought
Yeah, he's not shabby,
back from the grave to score 2 points. Alright, and so because 2 traits, 2 command points were used that turn, the Ultramarines going to use the Warlord trait to try and get them back on a 5. So 1 comes back, 1 stays used. Alright, the Sentinels are coming back under fire. This time it's the Predator Destructor with the las cannon sponsons here. It's going to fire at the Sentinel, so you doing the autocannon first or the las cannon? Autocannon, okay, so it gets D3 plus 2 shots, I think.
2d3.
It's 2D, yeah, that's it. So 2d3. Right, so there's a
5.
Yeah, 5 in total. And hitting on 3s. That is spectacularly bad, only 1. But wounding on 3s against these Sentinels, only toughness 5, and it doesn't even wound. Alright, so 2 shots from the las cannons now. Needing 3s. Gets them both, these are the deadly ones. 3s to wound. And there's 2 solid wounds, saving on 6s for these Sentinels. No, both go through, so first damage, 1 at a time. Right, so the back Sentinel's gone, and then the next Sentinel takes 6. So 2 Sentinels just being toasted. If it was the other way around, then I would have had a surviving Sentinel, but they've both gone down. I can see if they explode. Alright, so this one's the first one to go down. Doesn't explode, this one. Doesn't explode, so there's 2 Sentinels gone down, but they are not individual models, they are a unit. Alright, the second Predator in, he's now going to chip in. Again on the Sentinels. I don't know what these Sentinels have done to deserve this, but he's the heavy bolters first. And that's a spectacular miss roll. So only 2 hit, needing 4s. Gets 1. And saving on a 4 because it's AP -1. That goes through, so first wound on that Sentinel. And then the Predator autocannon. This is deadly. Okay, again, well, it's high, so it's 4. And hitting on 3s. So 2 hits, wounding on 3s. It's just 1 wound, and we are saving on a 4 again, which you do not get. So it's 3 damage for the Predator autocannon, I think. Alright, more heavy weaponry from the Ultramarines. I've got the Devastator squad now. I've already fired the bolt guns at the Salamander tank, caused a wound on it, just not getting any saves here. And then the las cannons are now going to fire in on this battle tank. So one of them's using a Signum in red, so that gets to hit on a 2. So
and I'm going to use a Morium Cherub.
Alright, so hitting on 3s and 1, 2. Alright, so it gets to reroll 1s because the captain is on the scene. Alright, so they all hit, because that red was the Signum. And wounded on 3s because it's only toughness 8. So there's 3 solid wounds there, and save on 6s, and we don't get any, so there's 3d6 damage. Right, so that tank's gone now because it's only got 12 wounds, so it's 14. It's 2 overspill on it. So we're going to see if it explodes. If it does explode, we're going to use a command point to re-roll that because we can't have it exploding. So it does not explode, right? But we've lost a command point just to try and save Cypher. So that's not good. 2 Leman Rust down in 1 turn, and Sentinels just eradicated just about.
Yay.
Okay, it's Renegades turn 2 now. It's already 4-0, and we're going to have to do some damage in this turn. Last turn we fired about 2,000 points just to Kronos and didn't kill him. We're going to have to do significantly better this time. So all of the infantry have advanced, just trying to get near. We're going to have to try and get some victory points going off the board, because I don't think they're going to kill anything with the shooting, since they hit on 5, so it's too much of a tall order for them. That's what they're there for, just to grind forward. So the Sentinel staying put. He's going to try and use that last cannon, try and get a hit. Everyone over here, they've moved forward, these 2 tanks, and the Baneblade has advanced. The reason why it's advanced is because we're going to play a stratagem which could allow it to shoot all its vehicles as if it didn't move again, so we'll do that. And this Scout Salamander did not move, so it's going to fire into the Predators, see if it can get some decent hits. This Chimera has, so just trying to draw near, and we may pay with our lives for it, but it's all we can do. We need to get burst through that line somehow. At the moment there's just a steel wall that we're faced with, so we're going to have to crack that wall. Right, we're going to have the last remaining Sentinel. He's going to fire his last cannon at Kronos. Can we kill him? Needing a 4 to hit. Oh, we've missed, so no, we can't kill him. Right, we're just going to move on to the Baneblade. We're going to dedicate all of the bolt guns, all the heavy bolters and heavy stubber at the Devastator squad up here again. We're going to do the las cannons at this Predator here, and we're going to do the auto cannon and the Baneblade cannon at Kronos again. We cannot allow him to survive, he's too dangerous. He's got the most las cannons. So we'll do the auto cannon at Kronos first. So we've missed. We are playing the stratagem, which allows us to fire unimpeded on the move. So here we go, here's the Baneblade cannon, 2d6 shots, so we're getting 4. Well, that's 1 better than the last time. So what we're going to do is use the reroll stratagem to reroll this 1, try and get higher than a 1, please. Yeah, we're getting 6. Right, so there's 9 shots coming in on Kronos. If this doesn't do it, I don't know what will. Alright, so hitting on 4s. That's decent. Right, strength 9, wound on 3s. Okay, that's not too shabby. 4 attacks there. They're going to have to save on 6s, it's AP minus 3. So they all go through, it's 3 damage each time, so he's definitely toast. See if he explodes on a 6, because there's a lot around him. He does explode. You're going to use a stratagem.
Certainly, yeah. Use
a stratagem to reroll. Does not want that to happen. And it's a 6 again.
No.
Right, here we go. We've cracked the dam. So it's an explosion. So
Kronos himself.
Yeah, Kronos. So it's D3 mortal wounds. So he's taken 3 mortal wounds.
He's a gunner.
He's only got 3 wounds, has he? Okay.
I'm not sure. But...
Well, he's taken 3 wounds. We'll find out in a second. The Tech Marine. He takes a single wound. This Predator. He takes a single wound. This Predator takes 2 wounds. And this Whirlwind takes a single wound as well. So, big explosion Kronos finally succumbs. Alright, so justice has been served on Kronos. He's now a smouldering wreck, but he is still alive, the man himself, but his vehicle is not. So we're going to do heavy bolters at the Devastator squad now. Hopefully we can get a really good turn in here. Not very good for hits. It looks below half. And 3s to wound. But that is good wounding. So 6 wounds, and they're saving on 3s because they are in cover. Right, so another 2 go down, slowly chipping away. Eventually we're going to get to the heavy weapons. Right, we've got the heavy stubber now at them. So no hits with the heavy stubber. And then we dedicated the las cannons to the Predator here. So here we go. No hits, and then we're going to do the Demolisher, the only thing in range. I think it's going to be the Flyer, obviously. It's the most nasty one of them all. We've even got the Hellhound positioned on that one. It's got the most firepower, so let's see if we achieve the impossible. We're sending 1 shot up into the air to try and catch a Flyer. So 1 shot, seems like it's going to miss, and it does. Alright, so that is the end of the shooting for the Baneblade. We're going to do the Hellhound now at the Flyer. So how many shots are we cranking out of this one? Just 2. And we get 1 wound on the Flyer, so we need to save on 4. Does not make it, and that is 2 damage from the Inferno Cannon. Alright, so we're going down the line now. We've got this tank left to fire, so we're going to do the Flamer, well, all of its weapons at this Vindicator. So we'll do the Flamer first. Let's get 4 shots, and we wound once, so 7 on a 4 gets it. And then the Battle Cannon, what can you do for us? Not much. 1 shot, hitting on a 4, the turret weapon, and it misses. So yeah, Battle Cannons refuse to play the game for me, and that is the end of the shooting phase. No, we've got a couple of cheeky bolt guns over there. Right, we're going to fire the medium weapons here. We've got the Salamander. It's going to fire up at the Devastators. We're going to fire at the Predators, but these are now almost eating into the las cannons now. So if we can get some good hits with this, it did stand still. So we've got 3 hits. Black is the heavy bolter. And there's 2 wounds from the autocannon, 1 from the heavy bolter. But it is still 3 up saves all around because of the cover. So 1 goes down. So that is the last bolt gun. Now we are eating into the las cannons and Sergeant. So we're going to fire this Chimera here. It did move, so we're not great on our ballistic still. Needing 5s, get 1 hit with a heavy bolter. 1 wound, so saving on a 3 again. So it is either the las cannon.
On the chirp.
Nice try. Right, we've got the stubber. Gets 2 hits with the stubber. 4s to wound. Gets 1 wound from the stubber. Saving on a 2 because you're in hardcover. Saves. Right. So we've taken some punishment. So we've not yet killed the Sergeant or a las cannon because he took the last wound on a cherub. I thought he was joking, but you can actually do that. But we've fired, the joke's on him, we fired the las cannon arrays and we've got 2 wounds, so we're going to have to save on 2s in hard cover. And he does, so that's the end of that. And I believe that is the end of the turn, but what we're going to do is we're going to charge that Lehman Russ into the Vindicator, in fact. We're going to slam into the side. So here we are, Robot was. Going to ram it. So he gets to Overwatch, D3 shots, 1 shot still. And hits on a 6, which he does not get. So here he goes, he's in, but I don't think much will happen here. So there we go, it was a tank fight, can't really deal with it in the shooting phase, so we'll try our luck with a ram, and nothing happens, nobody does any wounds. So we'll have Sansa for a turn. What we can't do with guns, we will do with harassment. Right, we've got Ultramarines turn 2 now, so they're starting to split up a bit. So the flyers come down, the tactical squad's dropped to the left, the captain's jumped all the way over, Going to get rerolls of 1s for tanks and everything. But pretty much everyone stays still over here. And over there, the Vindicator's choosing to stay in combat. It's trying to counter the harassment ability of the Leman Russ. And the TURNI's going to heal some wounds on these tanks. Or a tank, rather. Alright, I've just done all the Ultramarine shooting. And these two units here, they put on 2 wounds on the Hellhound. So they did really well themselves. Everyone else, just about, shot in on the Scout Salamander and blew it up, just totally killed it. Even the Razorback in the back contributed. Took a while for that to go down. This Chimera, not so hard. This is on its last hull point. It took damage from the Flyer and a Predator, so it's finally on its last hull point here, or wound should we say. It's not looking good for the Renegades, gotta say. The Ultramarines are just keeping them at bay with all those las cannons, and the vehicles are just going down. A lot of 6s being rolled for damage, and it's just taking its toll. Okay, we're in turn 3 now for the Renegades, and we're looking desperate now. So the Baneblade is advanced forward again. We're going to play the stratagem where we can fire on as if we haven't moved. And the Hellhounds, that's gone forward, so the Leman Russ has broken away from that combat. Can't fire this turn, but he's just going to try and make his way to the board edge, see what happens. Cypher and this unit advanced. This unit gets out of the Chimera. It's ready to explode, so we don't want to take any chances. We've now got the Malefic Lord. He's ready to go. He's going to do quite a nasty psychic power called Warp Flux. We'll show you that in a second. But the Sentinel stays still, and the autocannon teams just about stay still. Alright, so we're going to do a psychic test now. We're going to do Warp Flux with the Malefic Lord. It passes on a 7, so let's see what we get. We fail. Isn't that just typical? So nothing there. So if we did pass that, that would have been D6 mortal wounds on the Flyer, but not to be, so nothing's happening this time. Right, so I've done the shooting for the Renegades. It's been better than any other turn. So finally we've got rid of the Devastators. That was thanks to the Baneblade's heavy bolters. Really put the work in this time. And the Baneblade cannon fired at this Predator did 3 damage to it, so it's still not going very well for the actual main cannon. The last cannon's another weapons fire up at this Flyer, don't do anything, but we'll kill 3 Space Marines down here in the 10-man squad with the well placed shot from the Demolisher cannon, so that was very, very handy. This unit put a wound on the Flyer with a double standard flamer attack. No kills from the auto guns though, but they have gone in on a charge, so we're going to do a combat with this vehicle. Even the Malefic Lord and the commanders in there. We're going to try and do something to a Rhino, see what happens. It's better than being shot off a load of heavy bolters next turn. These can't do anything because they did advance, so nothing's happening there. And all the auto cannons from this area, this one, and that one in the distance, and the las cannon, have finally put that Vindicator on its last wound. It's still teetering, but it might succumb because we are going to mount a charge with that unit in the distance. So we're going to have to make it through Overwatch from that one. We've already made it through the Overwatch here, no casualties. And we might have a unit here, each one of these vehicles, that are going to break through the Ultramarine lines. We're going to have to see what the Ultramarines do to respond to that. But we're putting ourselves in a better position for points. We've scored 1 point for the Devastators. I think that's going to be it for this turn. But we made a good effort of it that time. Alright, this combat went badly, didn't do any damage to the Rhino as expected, but we did take a wound in return on the Malefic Lord. The rhino just ran over his foot. Over here, there was a different story. The Vindicator actually did go down to just one wound from these Renegades. And so they've consolidated on 3 inches. So that is a point from them, and it's a point from the Devastator. So that's 2 points in this turn. Right, we're in Ultramarines turn 3 now. And we're seeing the tacticals come into effect now. The machines have gone, now it's just the Renegades left stand in the wind. So bolters to the fore, a lot of them here, and the captain's on hand again. This rhino's dropped back from combat before all that happened, so it's not going to be able to shoot, but it's allowed all of these tacticals to get their sights on this squad. I'm really annoyed with myself. I didn't fire Cypher even though he advanced. He's got a special rule which allows him to do that. I could have smoked a couple of kippers. Didn't happen. But jump packs, they've finally came out of their cubby hole from behind the boxes. They're going to attack the Hellhound. They've sprung the attack now, and the Razorback looks like it's going to take on the Lehman Russ. So the Ultramarines have got one last sort of effort here to stop the Renegades trying to get to the lines. If they do, then it's probably sunk the ship. If they don't, might get a vehicle through here. Okay, the Ultramarine shooting phase and combat phase is over, and the inevitable is upon us. The unit that got out of the Chimera was destroyed through bolt gun fire and tank fire, just all gone. So that's 2 points for the Ultramarines there. The Malefic Lord was killed by the Predator, or one of them. So there's another 2 points, and then the Predator killed the Chimera is just hanging on his last wound, so there's another 2 points. And this whittles down this unit to 2 guys left, so they're going to have to do a morale check. So what you do, they've got uncertain worth, so you roll a d6, add 2, so they've got leadership at 8, but we've lost a handful, we've lost 8. So 2, we've lost an extra 2 models, so that's that unit wiped out. Just 1 point for that for the Ultramarines. So they're now on 12. And Cypher's exposed, so is the Warlord. They're just standing there in the wind, not able to do anything. The assault squad, they jumped in on the Chimera. 1 died in the Overwatch and didn't do anything to it in the assault, so that is still active and good to go. But that was a really, really damaging round there from the Ultramarines. Couldn't get that Sentinel to go away. It's still standing there, still strong. But it's on borrowed time. It's only got 2 wounds left. And the Ultramarines are on 12 points now. And the Renegades are only on 3. No one can say we haven't tried to break the line here. This is not a force that you go forward with. This is a force that you stand at the back and take objectives with. But they did, and they have tried. And we're going to try again. So here we are in Renegades turn 4, and we've moved forward with everybody. Cypher comes around the front of the tank. He's brave, might get run over, but be the least of his worries. Everyone just roughly stays still at the back here. These jump up forward to try and protect the Warlord. The Flyer is probably going to hunt him down, and this broke off from the combat, moved over here, and the breakaway Lehman Russ, he's looking to get to those lines. So we've done the shooting phase as well. Cypher got he's killed 1 guy here. We've got 2 hits with his super plasma pistol on that Razorback, saved them both, so it's just been denied at every opportunity. This Baneblade, mixed bag of results here. Got a few wounds on this Razorback in the corner, but the rest of the guns hosed down this unit. There's only 2 left, and the Baneblade cannon did nothing to any Razorbacks, any Predators rather, so it's just a mixed bag of results there. We've run out of stratagems to make it hit any better, so we've basically come to the end of our life here. So we're going to try a charge of Cypher against these four Marines, see what he can do. Right, so Cypher, he gets in the combat, he suffers a wound in the Overwatch and kills one in the combat himself, but he's only halfway out the fire because the Ultramarines with their chapter tactics, they're just going to drop back and shoot you all the same. Slightly less effective, but still, it's a threat. And these pass their morale check. Also try to charge with the, or ram, with the Lehman Russ in the corner there at the Razorback to try and silence it for the next turn, but failed our charge. So that's all we've got in the bank here. We've just got to put up with another savage Ultramarine turn. We've really tried to break the line here, but we just can't. Right, we're in the Ultramarines' turn now, and again, no movement from them. All their weapons stay still with no penalty to that. And the Ultramarines drop back from Cypher, and he's basically being gunned down from all the bolters here, all the bolters there, and the Razorback. The Rhino chips in as well. But he's finished off by these three Marines here. There's a point for the Ultramarines, but Cypher does have a rule on a 2+. If you kill him, you don't get any points for him, regardless of the mission stipulation. So on a 2+, fuck's sake. Alright, so after the tragic death of who people think is Cypher, everyone else just dies. So the full wipeout for that unit there, so that's an extra 2 points for the Space Marines. Half this unit gets wiped out, they're probably going to fill the morale. And that is it. So more points for the Ultramarines that turn. So on total they are on 16 victory points, and the Renegades are only on 3. And we've had our Chimera, our Hellhound taken out by the las cannons on here. Double 6 damage. It wasn't necessary, but it got a double 6 anyway, so that exploded. A couple of mortal wounds around everywhere, but it's irrelevant at this point. We've had an objective. We could have scored 2 points if that got off the board. It's not going to happen, obviously, because it's dead. This could score 2 points, but still, we've only got 3 points anyway. After that tragic first turn of not being able to kill Kronos, we pretty much just got hammered. So, massive victory for the Ultramarines, the first one of the campaign, but you wouldn't tell if you were looking at how the campaign's actually going on the global scale. So, Renegades, get a kicking, don't even come close to the line. So we're ready to try, but the Ultramarines just too powerful with all their las cannons hitting on 3s, just too strong.